Today on Country Pocket, we have Benjamin Dakota Rogers. He is in his car because the Wi-Fi is better when he drives into town. His new album is called Paint Horse, and it's really a bit of a throwback to a folk era that's long since passed. The first song you heard is Charlie Boy. So, Benjamin, what is it about folk music and violent death that have worked out so well since the days of Stagger Lee?
I think the first folk songs that were written in that era, they were written in like more violent times, and so people were writing what they knew. And I think now people that are writing that music were influenced by those things, or like by those stories. And a lot of what I draw from when I'm writing folk songs is like I read a lot of westerns, read a lot of stuff, and those are full of violence and stuff. And also, I think violent stories are easily contained often within a 3 minute song. The it's it, I That'd be my guess at least.
Yeah, how important are the historical influences of folk to you when you're crafting your music?
Song, I think lyrically maybe not super important, but melodically really important. I grew up playing fiddle and playing a lot of old folk tunes on fiddle, and so I think that melodically stuff is really important. And I think we just kind of end up drawing. I end up drawing from things I listen to, as like we all do. But I think big a big root of my influence comes from being a fiddle player and the melodies on lots of old folk or fiddle tunes that are in the that tradition.
So plenty of violence on the album, but not against women. Is there like a code that goes into what type of darkness you'll explore?
Um, I don't know if I've ever thought about it that way, but I think I'm more comfortable telling stories that don't involve violence against women. You know, I think this is the first time I've thought about it. But yeah, when I think back at it, I've written a lot of murder ballads, and I yeah, yeah, I think that's probably pretty fair to say.
Yeah, I feel like when you're celebrating violence at least or making somewhat of a joke out of it, it really works a lot better when you're going after bad men, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I also think that I think that I'm trying to think how to say it. Like the conflict in the stories, especially for the era, works better when it's like two guys fighting, if that makes sense. For the era that I'm like writing in. But I don't know if I'm writing in a specific era. Like I draw from a lot of old stuff, but I like to think that it's fairly um new, some of the stuff that I'm trying to do.
Yeah, what era do you think you usually write in?
I think that when I'm thinking about stories, I'm thinking um anywhere probably between like 1850s to like 1920s type of stories. But then like I write lots of songs that feel like for like now, like Arlo's a good example
Oh, we're
of
gonna get to Arlo.
Arlo's a good example of like a story where it's about like where I am now in my life and the people around me now. And so I think that like I think those songs like Charlie Boy and John Came Home and that are really heavily influenced by my love of old Western books and that kind of stuff. But it's like one genre within what I enjoy writing.
Yeah, so Blackjack County chain.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like something out of an old Western movie, but that's actually something that happened in this country.
Yeah, but that one's the only song on the record that isn't written by me. That's Red Lane wrote that, and it was covered by covered by Willie Nelson and tons of people, but it was banned for a long time because they thought it incited violence against the police and all of that stuff. So it was banned. They weren't allowed to play it on the radio. I think it was the 50s or 60s. And so yeah, it's really interesting. And now that song, lots of people have covered it, and it's
Yeah,
now
I wanted to get into the fact that you I had to bring up the fact that you played a banned song.
yeah yeah yeah. It's I found I can't remember what version I found. I found a version on YouTube, an old version, and I really loved the lyrics and kind of dived in and like learned the history on it way before I played it. And then I'm in my own studio. I built a little studio up in a barn, and I was just testing out microphones, and I did a little recording of it, and my girlfriend really liked it, and so then I posted it to TikTok, and it went viral, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna record a whole version of this and share it. But
I love how funny it is that like your decision to include an old-fashioned song on the album comes from TikTok.
yeah, yeah, it's the irony of it. It's really great, and like a lot of the songs on the record, as weird as this sounds, because it is like a folk record. Like I think I recorded maybe 25 songs, and it was kind of whittled down based on. I kind of like did my experiment last year of posting every day to TikTok, and I'm still continuing with it. It's been really great for my career, and it's been really informative when I'm writing songs. But a lot of the lineup on the record was kind of dictated by like recorded all these songs and was sharing clips of them, and it's like, oh, that one went viral. I guess that one's gonna be on the record. People actually want to hear that one, or people are connecting with that. And so it was a weird way to put together a folk record, but was also really interesting. And I think it's it felt kind of collaborative with the people who were interested in my music.
That is very cool and very unique. Um, so Blackjack County Chain, did the guy
Yes,
deserve it?
probably.
All
Yeah.
right, let's hear it.